Welcome to this Microsoft Office training video on Word 2010. This video is going to talk about advanced page numbering. So what is advanced page numbering? Well, if you don't want a page number on the first page, that could be a little bit more advanced. Or if you want to restart the numbering partway through your document, or a different number format for some of the page numbers, or if you don't want page numbers on certain sections of your document. So before you do advanced page numbering and actually put in the page numbers, you do need to plan out how you want your document to be. In the sample document I'll be demonstrating, on the first page we don't want a number at all. The second page we want a standard or Arabic number. It'll be page 2. The third page should also have no number, and the fourth page should again have a standard or Arabic number, but it'll also be labeled as page 2. The fifth page would have a lowercase Roman numeral for the table of contents. The 6th through the 16th pages would have standard or Arabic numerals, but they would go from 1 to 11. And then the last 3 pages, the 17th through 19th pages, would have no number at all. Once you've planned this out, you are ready to proceed. And the first step is to divide your document into sections, and we do that using section breaks. So here's our document, and we want to go and put in our section breaks in the proper areas. So the first place you want to go is to the bottom of page 2, and it's usually very helpful when inserting section breaks to first turn on the formatting marks. This can be found in the paragraph group on the Home tab. This way we can see we have a page break right here, and we want to replace that page break with a section break. So place your cursor at the beginning of the page break, press delete to eliminate it. Then on the Page Layout tab, in the Page Setup area, go to Breaks and choose Section Break Next Page. This is identical to a page break in one way, but it also tells the document to treat the text prior to and afterwards as separate sections so that you can use different formatting for those sections. This is not just for headers, but you could also have pages within your document that are perhaps oriented in landscape instead of portrait, or change the margins in certain areas of your document. Again, for this purpose we're using it for page numbering, but section breaks can be a very handy tool. So we've put in our first section break. Our second one is at the bottom of page 4, where we find a current page break. And keep in mind, if you're typing your document from scratch and you already have an idea of what you're doing, you can put in the section breaks as you go along, instead of going back later on and putting them in. Here's a page break at the end of our table of contents, and again we'll replace that with a section break next page. So pages 6 through 16 are all going to be page numbered the same. Again, a section break next page, and we've divided our document into the proper sections. To return to the beginning of the document, a keyboard shortcut of Control and the Home key will pop you right back to the beginning. Now that we've divided the document, we can insert the page numbers. We have to format the page numbers properly, use something called different first page, deal with something called same as previous, and of course actually insert the page numbers themselves. We want to go to the Insert tab, and we're going to be putting these page numbers in the footer. So we go to the footer icon in the header and footer group and click on Edit Footer. Now notice here we have a tab that says Footer Section 1. This will change depending on the section that we're in, and it's a great reference for when you're dealing with multiple sections. Now because we don't want a page number on the first page, but we do want it on the second, for this section we want to have a different first page. To do this, it's very simple. Up in the Options group, on the Design tab of the Header and Footer tools, we have an option Different First Page. This tab, by the way, is a contextual tab. It only appears when you're in a header or footer. If we were to exit the header and footer right now, this tab would disappear. Putting a check on Different First Page changes our label to First Page Footer Section 1. In the options there is also the choice of different odd and even pages. That is if you were going to do a document that you were going to print on both sides, and perhaps you wanted to put it in binding, and maybe on the odd pages have the page number all the way aligned to the right, and on the even pages have it all the way aligned to the left. Or if you just wanted different footers or headers on the odds and even pages. But for this document it's not necessary, and on this first page, as far as a page number is concerned, we don't want one, so we're actually done with this page. To get to the next area in the navigation, there are navigation buttons, Previous and Next. We will go to the Next icon, and now we're back in footer of section 1. Now in this case, we want the page number centered. In some cases you might want some additional information in the footer, so you could type it and align it the way you want. However, in this example, we're just going to put a simple page number, and we're going to put that in the center. Now in the footer, there are a couple ways to do that. You can just do the normal centering by going to the Home tab and clicking the Center button, or using the keyboard shortcut Control E, or you can press Tab, and that will put you in the center tab position. By default, headers and footers have 3 tab positions. There's the initial position, the center tab, and if you tab again, brings you all the way to the right. But in this case, we're going to stay in the center. I'm going to go back to the Design tab, and we're going to put in a page number. And that is on the Design tab in the header and footer area. Click on Page Number, Current Position, and Plain Number. And that gives me my number 2, as I am currently on number 2. However, the first page still does not have a number, which is what we wanted. So now I'm going to go to the next area, which is the footer of section 2. You'll notice we already have a number here. The reason for that is something I call the 3 deadly words. Same as previous. You can actually see that this is active right here. What this means is that this footer is linked to the previous footer so that whatever is in that footer will also be in this one. We don't want that to be the case. In fact, as a general rule, unless you deliberately want the footers all to be linked together, turning it off is usually a good idea. The way to turn it off is in the navigation area. Click on Link to Previous, and that will deactivate the same as previous. However, we still have a number here. Just because we turned it off doesn't remove the number. And we also, on this page, which is a 3rd page of the document, we don't want a page number at all, but we do want a page number on the next page. So rather than just eliminating this number, I'm going to again use the different first page option. When I turn that on, the number disappears, but you'll notice that same as previous has turned back on. Now this footer is linked to the previous first page footer, which doesn't have a number, so therefore we have no number here, and that's perfectly fine. However, just in case we change our mind later on, I just think it's a good idea to turn off the same as previous. Now I'm going to go to the next page, and again we're in footer section 2, and we do have a number here, and this number is 4. We don't want it to be labeled as page 4. We want this to be page 2 of this section. So we need to change the formatting of this page number, and that's up here in the header and footer area under page number. Click on Format Page Numbers, and here the number format is fine, but with the page numbering, we want to change where the numbers start. So we choose Start At, and it automatically puts a 1 here. Now it may seem to make sense to change this to a 2 because that's what we want here, but even though we don't have a page number on the first page of this section, that is still considered number 1. So let's just click OK and see what happens. Well, one thing that happened is now we're in the first page footer of this section. The reason for that is Word will automatically bring you to the first page of a section when you make a change that affects that section. However, we still want to go look at our second page of the section, so we click Next, and now we have a page number 2 because again we started at 1. This is a second page of this section, so we're good to go. So again, we go up to our navigation area, click Next, and now we're on the Table of Contents page. Again, we have a number here. Again, it's that same as previous. We'll turn that off. And here, we do want a page number, so we don't want a different first page, but we want to also change the formatting. So page number, format page numbers, and here in the number format, we're going to change it to lowercase Roman numerals. Then in the page numbering area, we'll change that again to start at 1, or in this case, I. Click OK, and this changes our page number to the format and number that we want. Click Next. We're now in our section 4, and again we have a page number, same as previous. Puts this as a 2 because the previous section, which is our table of contents, starts at number 1. For some reason Word does not copy down the formatting of the numbers, but it does realize when you've changed the starting point. So again, we're going to turn off the link to previous, or same as previous. Go to page number here. In this section, we want standard Arabic numerals 1 through 11 for pages 6 to 16. So if we go to Format Page Numbers here, all we need to do again is start at 1. And that should take care of this entire section. Finally, our last section, section 5, has a page number. Now, pages 17, 18, and 19, we don't want page numbers, so I'm going to be removing this. But if I do it now, it's going to eliminate it from the previous section because, again, same as previous is turned on. So one last time we turn that off, and then we can just delete out that page number. So our page numbering is actually done at this point. We can close the header and footer, where it returns to the beginning of the document. A good way to check our page numbers and ensure that they're the way we want them is to go to the print preview and just scroll through. There's our number 2, there's another number 2, there's our lowercase Roman numeral, 1 through 11, and then no page numbers. One little extra bonus for advanced page numbering, sometimes you might want to have page 1 of however many pages you have. So I'm going to go back into my footer, and I'm actually going to go to page 6, and I'm going to change this here, and this time I'm going to put page number to page X of Y. So this says page 1 of 19. However, there are only 11 pages in this section. 19 is the total number of pages in the document. So a quick way to change that, right-click on the 19, click on Toggle Field Codes, and you'll see that it says Num Pages, Arabic, merge format. Num Pages is a variable that will return the number of pages in the document. If you want the number of pages in the section, remove the num part and type the word section. Then when you toggle the field codes back, you now have the proper number of pages in the section. This concludes this video. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to refer to our other videos on various software procedures. Subscribe to our channel to see our latest offerings. And here's an email address, KyleJWilliamson@yahoo.com, if you have questions, feedback, or other video requests. I can also create videos for custom software. If you're a software company or author and you want to have an instructional video to go along with it. I hope you enjoyed. See you soon.